everybody. I just wanted to wish you a happy Thursday afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and go through the PowerPoint, and I'll try and turn my video off. And get started here. So today we're going to go over a number of things. Paula's going to talk to us a little bit about the result of the 2020 Literacy Texas Conference. It was such a great success. We're going to talk about some monthly webinars that are coming up, a trainer webinar that's been in the works for a while, and I'm glad we're finally getting that to fruition. Some announcements that I'm going to be happy to make later on, a PD portal announcement or two. We're going to talk about some teams with a PD update, and then we're going to end it with that PD coordinator time. You know, we haven't really spent a lot of time trying to get you guys to engage with us, and we really want to help you through this, especially during these times. So I'm going to let Paula start it off. Paula.
Thanks, Deb.
Paula.
Thanks, Deb. Thank you, Deb. I had a little problem with my audio. I just wanted to recap the first virtual conference for Literacy Texas. It was a huge success. They had 281 participants, but not only from Texas, they had participants from Arkansas and Oklahoma. There was 45 sessions with 52 hours of PD credit and 53 trainers involved. And of course, the highlight was Monday and Tuesday morning, both Governor Abbott and First Lady Cecilia Abbott were their welcome keynote speakers, which showed their support and commitment for AEL programs in Texas. One thing I want to add that's not on the slide is I talked with Literacy Texas today, in particular Jake Stoffel. He is going through all the chat logs that were provided to him by CVent, and he's allocating on a spreadsheet for all 281 participants exactly what they attended. And he will give participants a personal certificate which will list all sessions that they attended with their PD credit hours and, of course, the PD credit type, the PAL, the LIT, or the other. You're going to have to give him till the end of August, hopefully a little bit sooner, but by the end of August, every participant should have a certificate by then. But it is just him doing this.
Okay, wow. That's a lot of work to Jake.
Yeah, shout out to Jake. He's our favorite.
Shout out to Jake.
Okay.
Thank you, Paula. Beth, are you still on with us?
I am here.
Great. You want to talk about the change agent?
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Deb, for stepping up. I lost my internet connection today, so I'm joining you by phone. But I did want to just make another announcement to you all, especially as the programs are getting ramped up, that we do as a state now have access to the online publication, The Change Agent, which has all kinds of activities for adult education programs. And there's the username and password as well as the link. So share that widely with your teachers. That's a great resource that I'd love for all of us to be using. So thanks.
Boy, you were talking, I was trying to type and you were talking so fast, I almost missed you. Thank you, Beth. I was typing in the chat pod that you guys have really got to try and check that out. I've been using the Change Agent just in workshops for the past, I don't know, 15 years or so, prior to even coming back home to Texas. So it's a really great, valuable resource. Okay, Liz, you want to talk about some announcements with Manager Mondays?
Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here today. So yes, we do have our next topic for Manager Monday, which is September 28th. We had to push down the date to accommodate for the Fall Institute overlap. So our next session is going to be focusing on IET trainings and what that looks like during this pandemic. You know, everyone's had to pivot to some extent. So we're going to have Ann Savino from TWC speaking to what some of your options are. And then in the following month, we're going to be highlighting Elena Madrid, also from Texas Workforce Commission, and she's going to talk about workplace wellness, something I know we all definitely need. So that's for in October, and both of those registrations are coming up very soon. So check out the PD portal for those registrations. And if you have any suggestions for Manager Monday topic ideas, send me an email. I'd like to hear from you. Let me know what you'd like to hear or see, and I can definitely look into it. So thank you so much, Deb.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it. Liz is doing a great job with these Manager Mondays, y'all. So make sure that you share the information. Okay, Beth, you want to talk about Teacher Tuesday?
Sure, thank you. So yes, coming up, the next Teacher Tuesday is going to be September 8th at noon. And Cynthia Peters from World Education is going to join us for the next 2 Teacher Tuesdays to talk to our instructors about the election and civic participation. And so the first one is participating in the 2020 election. She'll be sharing instructional resources that you can use with your students to participate in and learn about the election process. So we're looking forward to having Cynthia back with us.
Thank you, Beth. And Olga, you're going to talk about Workforce Wednesdays.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I just want to share a little bit the rest of the dates for 2020. We have August 19th, September 23rd, October 21st, November 18th, and December 16th. And these dates, we already have speakers booked. And I have a note on here that if you have any recommendations for training that I would appreciate the people volunteering. I sent out an email this week to the career navigators. I'm looking to book for 2021, but I really want to touch on some specific topics like helping students identify their professional goals, helping students determine their career goals and what's the best fit, and how to have a conversation with a student to gather more information about their interests. So if you know of anybody that would want to present on these topics, please forward them to me or let me know, and I'll be glad to entertain. And we also have our August 19th Workforce Wednesday coming up. It's Developing Your Superpower Emotional Intelligence, EQ. And it's just talking about emotional intelligence and the importance of it as a worker, community member, what have you. So we have our presenters, Victoria Jimenez and Jasmine Grabowski from Workforce Solutions Gulf Coast, my apologies, joining us that day. It's a really great presentation, so join us. And then the next one is
My computer is acting up, sorry.
Is September 23rd. We're going to have Brandon Warren navigating the reentry landscape, assisting the formerly incarcerated with reentry resources. So Brandon Warren, he is going to share, he shared at some resources at our pre-conference at Taylor for the navigators, but he's coming back with more information because he wants to share those resources available to help people with criminal convictions that are often really hard to find. So join us for that session. He's going to provide some really great information. Thank you. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Olga. Anne-Marie, you want to talk about some Tech and Tel announcements?
Yes, wow, those are great webinars for the series Workforce Wednesday and Manager Mondays and Teacher Tuesdays. Oh my goodness, hard acts to follow here. So upcoming Tech and Tel webinars. Next week on August 21st, we do have a 90-minute webinar, and Penny Pearson will be back from the Outreach Technical Assistance Network, OTAN in California. If you have some time, take a look at that website sometime. There's a lot of great resources to help for you too for virtual learning. But Penny will be back to continue a conversation with OER. Oh, can we go back to that one? For open educational resources. So if you attended the Distance Learning and Technology Symposium session she did in May, this is not a repeat, but it's an expanded discussion. So we look forward to that. So that's next Friday. Okay, now next slide. And Penny will be back in September, on September 11th. Again, this is a 90-minute webinar, and I'm very excited about this topic. And the topic is A11Y Microsoft Accessibility. And if you're not sure what A11Y means, don't worry, she will share it with you. But what this is going to talk about is not how do you create an accessible PowerPoint or Word document. This is a discussion of all of the amazing Microsoft accessibility tools that are available to you in the Microsoft Office suite. So really looking forward to this one. Registration is in the portal already for both sessions. All right. And okay, so I'm in the works right now for September, October, November webinars, so look for those. And hopefully we're going to be featuring a new teacher and also bringing back another presenter. So stay tuned for that. And then really quickly, next slide. And if you are interested in presenting, or if you know of one of your teachers that is doing some great things with technology in the classroom, please email me. I hope to feature a new teacher in the coming months. That was a suggestion. And so please email me if you would love to showcase a teacher from your program, or you yourself would like to present. Thanks, Deb.
Yes, ma'am. We're at this section now, guys, where we have any questions. Does anybody have any questions about, it's a lot of dates that we talked about, and I apologize for my computer's sticking now, of course, when everybody else is having problems, but we're getting there. Any questions? I'm looking at the chat pod. I don't see anything. Well, if you do, just be sure and throw them up in the chat pod or raise your hand, and we can unmute you or what have you. All right. The next thing we have is a slide from Tracy.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so we have a poll for you. We just did a TABE online TOT last week, and we had to limit the number of people that could come. So because when we do a training of trainers, we cover a lot of materials, and if we have too large of a group, it gets really hard to help everyone. So I wanted to see if your program, if you think that you need another TABE 1112 online training of trainers. And again, a training of trainers is where we're training people, targeted staff to train that would come to a TOT, and then they can then train your staff on TABE 1112 online. So if you would launch the poll, or whoever's launching the poll, that'd be great.
Launched.
Okay. And if y'all would just, sorry, I know.
It's okay.
We think everything should be automatic, right? Like you go to the ATM machine and your money comes out, and now we're virtual. It's like it should be automatic, but we're all having to learn that's not what is happening.
Exactly.
So, well, just while this is getting launched, and I know these questions that don't give you a lot of time to think, just answer them when that launches, and then we'll go from there. We had good attendance for the last one. We did have a waiting list of a few people, again, because we want to keep the group fairly small, but it went really, really well. And so we do have some trainers available if you might need a trainer to do TABE online 1112, TABE 1112 online. Contact your PD specialist. Those are options as well.
Tracy?
Yes, ma'am.
So Catherine's asking, do we answer no if we just sent a staff member?
Well,
I guess.
If you don't need to send anyone else, answer no. So like if your program still might need a couple more trainers, answer yes. If you don't need any trainers, then say no.
Yeah. We got 13 of our 32 folks have voted. So
okay, great.
We need some more of y'all to vote if you wouldn't mind. Linda Ross, we will not send staff as
okay, perfect.
We use CASAS, unable to submit response to poll. Thank you for that, Linda. So yeah, there may be some folks that are using just CASAS. So I'll just give it another, 20 seconds.
Yeah, and you know what I'm seeing, Deb, is I'm seeing the poll, and I'm used to being on your end and launching the poll.
Oh yeah.
Being able to do the poll. So that's why I'm thinking,
oh yeah.
what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to
These
give it about 5 more seconds and then I'll end it and it should
Okay.
be able to show.
And we appreciate y'all's answer. We want to meet the needs of the field, and we realize a lot of you guys are using CASA. So, okay, I think okay. All right.
So yeah, 5
Okay.
programs said they would send folks.
Okay.
And 87% of them said they would send between 1 and 5 people.
Okay.
And
then,
it's a crapshoot about what mid to late September work.
okay. But yes kind of seems to win
Yeah,
the
a
day
little
there. So,
bit.
okay. Okay. Because we figure the worst that can, we could offer it, and the worst that could happen is no one takes us up on it, and then we just don't have the event. That's the worst case scenario, but we do want to meet the needs if we feel like there would be, 5, 10, 15 people attending. So we may just do this. So thank you
Okay. You're welcome.
for doing that, Deb. Appreciate it.
Sure. Liz, you're up.
Yes, well, you might have seen the Save the Date announcement shared during the TWC AEL grant recipient call this morning. And we want for you to join us during the Internationally Trained Professionals Kickoff event that is scheduled for September 3rd from 10:30 a.m. to noon. And what this is this is going to be the initial startup from many webinar series to come. And we're looking that, we know that this is a busy time of year and it's difficult for everyone to be present. However, this invitation is specifically for program directors and their key staff, such as PD coordinators, career navigators, distance learning leads, case managers, their PAs, their QAs, their standards coaches, their lead instructors. You get the idea. We're looking for any of the designated team leaders that a grantee or a provider has. We want to ensure that there's a clear horizontal level of understanding of what's to come in developing quality services for internationally trained professionals. So please mark your calendars, and if you have any questions, you can go ahead and email me with those questions. But it's going to be led by Ann Savino and myself on that day. So we hope to see you there. Thank you, Deb.
Yep, and this is going to be such an exciting event. It's been a long time coming. They've been planning this whole program itself for over a year now. So I'm glad that we're able to start serving our internationally trained professionals. Very exciting. Tracy.
Yes. Okay. So on September 3rd in the afternoon from 2 to 3:30, we're offering a trainer webinar. Now, this is for trainers who we would send out to do face-to-face trainings, or even trainers that might train at your program. And we're going to talk about practical strategies for conducting a virtual training. We've learned a lot since COVID, as you all have. It's like we're all reinventing the wheel. And Robin Booth and I have learned a lot from the training a trainer events that we've had, the longer events. And some of our staff have done some, 3-hour, 6-hour events. And we've got some tips and strategies we want to share, because it's hard to keep people engaged, and you want to do that. And yet, when you can't see feedback, you're not seeing faces, trying to make sure they're there after a break. That's our challenge at a training of trainers. We'll have a break and we want to know people are back. So we do fun things to bring people back and check to see that they're there, but also just to keep them engaged, not keep the same format going, if you will, all the time. So I'll be sending out a marketing announcement to all trainer groups that we have. And it's already on the PD portal calendar now. So if you're in that group, any training group, you would be able to register for it and come join us. And I think it will be a great training. Another thing we're learning is that being on Zoom all day is very exhausting. So any way that you can mix it up when you're training is going to be helpful for your local trainings and for any training that we offer virtually as well. So, okay, that's all I have for that one, Deb.
Thanks, Tracy. And if any of you are trainers for us or have trained on some of our topics or our TOTs, you are welcome to join in. Please share it with any of the folks that you hire. many of the trainers that we use to provide training to your programs. Please let them know. We're gonna email them, but we're really excited about this. This is another one of those things that we've been planning to do for quite a while and finally have an opportunity, and it's the perfect opportunity, especially now that we're all learning remotely. And on that, we have our questions slide. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions?
Let me see here. I don't see any questions right now, Deb.
Okay, thank you, Anne Marie. Just a reminder, we're still not able to travel. I'm sure some of you are the same. We're still not permitted to travel. We'll be working remotely. We've been told until October 31st. That still may change. I know my neighbor across the street works in the engineering building at A&M. He's not coming back to the office until after the first of the year. But we will want to try and get you some really engaging trainers to get some really engaging topics. So please just reach out to your PD specialist and we'll help you any way that we can. I do want to talk briefly about the Fall Institute. It will be all virtual this year, September 14th through the 17th. The 14th is a pre-conference day. We talked about this last month, I think. The morning session will be from 8:30 to 12, and that will be for the DL leads. And then in the afternoon from 1 to 4:30 or 1 to 4, I can't remember, is the PD coordinator. Now, Beth Ponder and Krista Mosier are working hard putting together that part of the pre-conference for you guys. And then Lori and I, and our new team member will be working on putting together the pre-conference for the DL lead session. So we're excited about that. And then the 15th through the 17th, we'll have some breakout sessions. I understand that there are approximately 17 submissions that everyone from across the state submitted. We have 17 submissions. So on the 15th and the 16th, we're going to have 2 tracks. We've just signed a contract with Cvent, the same service that Literacy Texas used. So we'll be using that service. We really liked it. We liked the way that it flowed. And we're really excited to be using them. We're meeting with them next week. Once we start getting all that set up, we will have registration. We don't have that now. So just sit tight and put these dates on your calendar. The Fall Institute going all virtual. I'm very excited to share with you that we have had an opportunity to submit a position for a new PD specialist. This person will be working directly with the distance learning leads at each of the programs. You know, we have Krista that works directly with the PD coordinators. Olga works directly with the career navigators, and our new PD specialist will be working directly with the DL leads and be taking over some of what Glenda Rose did for us when she was a PD specialist here, some of that tech integration stuff. So it's been a month or so in planning, and I'm happy to let you know that we're very happy to welcome Ashley Winkle to join our TCAL team as our PD specialist, specializing in distance learning and tech integration. Drum roll, please. You can't see me, but I'm just grinning from ear to ear. Ashley, we are so excited that you, hold on, let me put on my video. We are so excited that you are joining our team. You are a rock star in distance learning and tech integration, and we are just beyond excited. Ashley starts with us on Monday virtually, and Ashley Ariola, who is also on the call this afternoon, will be taking Ashley Winkle's place as PD coordinator. I wanted to mention that for those of you who might keep a table of who all the PD coordinators are. So congratulations, Ashley Ariola, on that position. But we're very excited to welcome Ashley to our team and look forward to having her just rock it and bring us even bigger into the tech and DL scene. So welcome, Ashley, and I'll be talking to you next week. Okay, before we move on, do we have any other questions? Questions about anything we just talked about? The Fall Institute?
I am looking in the chat pod. We do want to clarify, Beth put in the chat pod, that the PD coordinator portion of the Fall Institute will be from 1 to 4:30, so it'll be
Okay.
3.5 hours. Yes, ma'am. And then just lots of congratulations and woohoos and awesome, awesome, awesome about our new rock star joining the team. And I don't see any other questions, but here we go. I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Anne Marie. Katie, you're up.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. We meaning the PD Portal team, wanted to provide a friendly reminder about one of our courses that gets a lot of traction. It's Understanding Principles of Adult Learning. It has been very popular just recently as well. In order to complete Understanding Principles of Adult Learning, you will need to first complete the prerequisite, which is called Understanding Adult Learners. I just wanted to clarify some of this. If the prerequisite is not completed, there is an exemption that's requested. That's how it all happens in the portal side of things. So it's on the back side for y'all, it looks like it's difficult to open up the curriculum. And so I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how to do that. Really, if just what we ask is that you go ahead and first successfully complete Understanding Adult Learners. That's our 1 hour prerequisite. And I know that these courses sound so similar, so I sound like I'm talking about the same course. So it's right there next to the checkbox on the screen. Adult Learners is first, and then you'll be able to dive into the 3 hour course. We had a lot of inquiries this week about why there was an exception requested, and it's just because it was requested out of order. And so it gets a little confusing when you're trying to find the prerequisite having to go through the other course. So I hope that makes sense. If not, I'm sorry, but you can email us at pdportal@tamu.edu. Just know that if you do get a note that says exemption requested, that it's okay, and we can definitely help clarify for you. Also, a note about the grading portion of this one. It has a hand-graded component that's not very popular with most of our courses, so just be aware. Most of our courses are automatically graded because they are true, false, or multiple choice. This one is not. So we just request a little bit of patience. We typically get them graded quickly, but we really request 1 to 2 business days, especially when there are a lot of participants submitting tests. I want to say one day this week we had maybe 20, and that's a lot coming in at once for us overnight. Plus on top of all of our other rules and all that fun stuff. So for instance, if someone submits a test at 3 o'clock Friday afternoon, more than likely, it's not going to be graded until the next Monday sometime. So this brings up a great point. If you have a deadline for your program to complete professional development, please also, if you can, inform us about this date as well. That way we are just a little bit extra attentive in the PD portal if there's some issues, and we can make sure that we are supporting you guys completely. All right, next up, we have a few new and awesome courses available in the PD portal. They are Manager Monday, Closing the Retention Gap, Keeping Your Participants Counting in the New Program Year. Manager Monday, Developing Instructor Support Structures and Community. Using the Change Agent Resources to Teach Reading. Deeper dive into best practices for remote testing. Teacher Tuesday, Intake and Orientation at a Distance. Tech and Tell Course Sites Part 2. Part 1 is also available. Tech and Tell with a blank canvas, learning begins. Please remember that if you or your staff miss one of our regular webinars like the Manager Mondays, Tech and Tells, Teacher Tuesdays, the ones that are typically recorded and in the portal, they go through post-production and they will be available to you at a later date. So if you can't sign up, I know this week's Teacher Tuesday was pretty busy. And so just know that if you give us just a couple of weeks, we will get it out there in the portal for you to view at a later date and time.
Thank you, Katie.
Mhm.
Laura, talk about a new course that we just finished.
Yes, ma'am. Very excited about this one. So this brand new course, online course in the PD portal, it focuses on the importance of increasing rigor in lessons for adult English learners. And you can see that in the title right there, increasing rigor in lessons for adult English learners. So in this course, after reviewing the importance, the participants will then explore 5 different effective practices for how to increase rigor. This course is part of a bigger series called the TELTEX Academy, or the TELTEX series. And that series is really centered on teaching adult English learners. And there's a little bit more to TELTEX's mission and purpose. And if you want to hear a little bit more about that, go check out the course that you see on the slide. And I think it's the second or third slide within that course is going to give you the full mission statement and talk a little bit more about what TELTEX is. And it'll give you a little bit of a teaser into some other courses that are offered through the TELTEX series. Also, there is going to be, I believe sometime in October, there's going to be a lot of TELTEX offerings in virtual trainings. So be sure to keep an eye out for information coming up soon about that. The next one on the screen is about a PD portal system update. So Cornerstone, who is the PD portal provider, they push out quarterly releases. Most of the time, this kind of happens behind the scenes and it doesn't really change anything, or the changes are very minor. So Friday, there was another system-wide update from Cornerstone. A couple of things might look different. What you see on the screen is one of the biggest changes that we've noticed and that we know folks in the field have noticed. And that's the session details. So if you go to the calendar, you click on a session to view the details, it's going to look like what you see on the left side of your screen here, where it's got the little kind of pull-out menu to the side. If you need to see like the roster, or you're looking for some other options, you'll see that in the drop-down menu. So I've got it circled and then it's been made bigger. If you do have permissions to assign something, or assign stuff to staff members in the portal, it's actually going to show up right next to that blue edit training button. I didn't realize at the time that the screenshot I grabbed didn't have it, but kind of where I think it's Deb or Anne Marie, someone's waving the laser around there. It'll show up right there. Yep. So like I said, that's kind of the major update that is mostly aesthetic. It's a little bit with navigation, just because you got to click in different places to find a couple different buttons at this point. But as you're in the portal over the next couple of days, if you notice something that looks different and it kind of throws you for a loop, don't hesitate to reach out to Katie and I, and we'll be happy to help get you rocking and rolling in the portal again. Certificates of completion. So I know we covered this one last month, and I just wanted to provide a reminder that they got a little bit of a facelift with the new program year. We do have Beth Ponder's signature on here now, as she is our Director of Professional Development at this point. We've also made it such that the small sentence says either this online course or it'll say this live training. And that's kind of on there to help you guys with identifying, especially when we get into situations where we have a live webinar and then the same thing has been recorded and put into the portal. It kind of helps you distinguish which one of those your staff have taken, so that when you're trying to then put that in Teams, you can make sure you're lining it up with the correct thing. One thing that we said last month that I need to back up a little bit on, and I didn't realize this, So we changed this certificate on July 1st. So with the new program year came this nice, facelift on the certificates. And so I figured that moving forward, this is what they would look like. But I realized the other day, if you go back and you pull something from last program year, I pulled a certificate for someone from March yesterday, and it came out with Beth's signature on it and this online course. So just, I think last month we said, it'll look like this if it's for this program year, it'll look like that if it's for last program year, and that's not necessarily true. So don't, go ahead and just delete that from what we said last month. And I think I have one more right now. Okay. So 2 things just that we've noticed as the program year has gotten kicked off again. First off, the second bullet, or the bottom of the purple box, Katie kind of addressed this already, but if you've got a deadline coming up for your team members, if you have assigned something to them and you want them to have it finished by a certain date, give us a heads up. Just let us know. That way we make sure we can be available to support them, especially if it falls on a weekend, because we do not routinely monitor the portal account on the weekend. So it might fill up with people getting snagged in courses or needing assistance or trying to find what they need. And we're not going to be there to help them if we don't know that there's kind of going to be a big push over the weekend. So just shoot us an email, give us a heads up, and we'll make sure we're providing support. And then the one above that, I mean, we're all adults here, so I honestly feel a little bit silly saying this, but please read your emails that come from the PD portal, especially ones that are about webinars that you've registered for. And the only reason I bring this up is because most of our webinars are going to launch from your transcript, just like normal, kind of the good old-fashioned way. But we do have some that stray from the norm. So for instance, it is that the summer business meetings that took place about 2 weeks ago. Y'all registered for those in the portal, but TWC ran the show there, and it happened through Microsoft Teams. So to get to those, you actually had to go through a link that was provided through email. And we did have folks who didn't read the email and then were emailing us in a panic saying, it's not launching from my transcript. You're going to run into the same situation if you sign up for something that takes place over multiple sessions. So especially with Tracy and Robin, their TOTs that they've done a lot of recently, those are split up over 2 days. Those launch differently than if you signed up for like a Manager Monday. So again, we're all adults here, but please make sure that you're kind of taking notice of that important information, and also encouraging your staff to read their emails so that they get that information as well. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Laura. A lot of information. Anybody have any questions? Anything in the chat pod, Anne-Marie?
I do not see anything. Just one comment about the new look of when you go and you look at a training event, the layout is better, and no questions so far. I'll let you know.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thelma, do you have a question? Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. I couldn't tell. Okay, Laura, you're back up with Teams.
Yep, and I am sharing this one on behalf of Krista, who has been pulled off on another call today. Just a reminder with Teams, it's going to work to your advantage if you're using keywords to search for titles as opposed to typing in the full titles. There are character limits in the titles in Teams, and so sometimes we have to abbreviate or shorten or just tweak the title a little bit so that it'll meet those requirements of Teams. So the exact title is not always going to find what you're looking for. Live events are going to take place on a single day. So you can see it's been circled in blue, Holy Hippocampus, beginning and end on May 29th. So that's kind of indicative that that was a live webinar. Whereas when we put them through post-production, you take a course with the same title, what we're doing is we're putting PD Portal at the beginning of it, and that just tells you that it is a PD Portal online course. And then also you'll see a much wider date range. So the date range begins when we publish it in the portal, and it will end at the conclusion of the program year. So a lot of stuff is going to have that wide range. So if you're having difficulty identifying which session in Teams is for the live event versus the recorded session, those are kind of some clues. But then also remember we had put on the certificate, it'll say this live event or this online course. So just kind of trying to find those little ways to help make sure that folks know which type of event it was. I think that's about all for this one.
Laura, I'm going to jump. There's a question about that slide. Can you go back there? Good question from Randy. If someone does a webinar that's not listed, do we need to send you something to add it to Teams? Is there a form for that?
And Anne-Marie, Tracy
Yes.
said that she's going to talk about that in just a second.
Okay. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
That's okay.
All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Laura.
Okay, so Teams will open up hopefully Saturday. That's what TDBC is saying, and we hope that will happen. And so when it does, we will be entering all of the PD Portal online courses into Teams as quickly as possible. You know, that takes a little bit of time, a couple minutes there, joke. But we will also be entering things like Literacy Texas sessions, that kind of thing. But we will let you know when all of that has been added, all the PD Portal online courses have been added. We have a bunch, so that does take some time. And we'll send out an email. So this goes into the next slide. I throw this slide in here every couple of months. I know y'all are tired of seeing it. However, it is very important. And this addresses Randy's question.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, wait, go.
Randy's question about, okay, if there are other conferences or other sessions that we would consider national or state conferences or webinars, who puts those in? And we put those in Teams. The only thing your local program puts into Teams would be a local training, actually putting the event in. So we put all the other events in. And yes, there is a form for that. It is in the PD coordinators community of practice, and it's called the, let me get the correct name. It's called the Conference Sessions for Teams form, and it's a spreadsheet. You can ask your PD specialist as well. They'll be happy to send that to you. Things like Taylee and Literacy Texas, we put all of those sessions in, so you don't have to worry about sending that form to us for those sessions. With Literacy Texas, we will be entering those sessions in soon when Teams is open. And since it will take Literacy Texas a few, I guess till the end of August to get the individualized PD sessions to the attendees, then we'll have those in by then, and you can attach staff to them there. Now, COABE this year was a little different. As we all know, it went from June 30th, most of it was in July. So we need you to submit the form for COABE sessions that your program staff may have attended. COABE had a lot of sessions, so we don't enter everything because it would take a lot of time on our part. So it's better if you compile from your program level just the sessions that were attended. We'll put them in, and then you'll attach your staff to those sessions. The other thing would be like link sessions, GED testing, webinars that you might see. Ashley Winkle is always so great about going all over the place to find professional development, which is great, which makes her a great professional there. But I would get forms from Literacy Council of Tyler all the time for Ashley because she would find sessions all over the place to take to boost her skills professionally. So those kinds of things would come to your PD specialist, or you can send them to Beth or I, and we'll put them in. So I hope that helps to answer questions. Just remind your data entry staff not to enter any sessions like from Literacy Texas or really any national or state webinar. We'll do that. If y'all give us the information about anything other than Literacy Texas, we'll do it. We just don't want multiple entries in there. That's what we try to avoid. So I see, yes, and Laura makes a good point that if there's a TCAL webinar and you can't find it in Teams, send me or Laura an email or the PD Portal Help Desk, and we'll check to see if it's already in there. Because we do have a naming convention we use, but we would rather you ask us instead of create a new event that would then duplicate events. Okay, that's a good one, Laura, thank you. And Marie's asking, so do I understand that we need to submit the form for any session that we create in Teams? No, So Marie, you would enter, if you have a local training, say you just came to one of our trainings recently, I can't remember which one, but if, say you did a TABE online 11-12 training locally, your program would enter that staff enter the event and the staff into Teams. And you're fine with that. But anything that would be like the Peer Mentor Network, trainings that Amarillo does, COABE, National Transitions Conference, there's just a bunch of things. They're not coming to my mind right away, but there's a lot of things. Links, GED testing service, HiSET has webinars that they do. So anything like that that's kind of considered from a national source, those things would go, we would put them in. Does that answer your question? TABE, yes, you came to TABE. See, I was kind of right, okay. And Marie's saying for links and other conferences that aren't listed, correct. And so look in the PD coordinator, you can find this form, it's called Conference Sessions for Teams. It's in the PD coordinator's community of practice, or ask Liz, I believe she's your PD coordinator, and she can send it to you as well. And Eduardo's privately telling me, yes, it is confusing when your data entry staff or someone at your program starts entering all these COABE sessions, for example. And then there ends up being duplicate sessions and you don't know which one to attach your staff to. So we try to keep that to a minimum.
So so the local programs, anything that you do on your own, you enter.
Mm-hmm.
Anything statewide or national, we enter for you as a service. And then anything we do, we'll enter into Teams, and then you just find it and enter your own stuff for it.
Right, you attach your staff, yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is why this slide comes in handy, and we do put it up from time to time just to remind everybody of this so that we don't have duplicate events in Teams. Because it's really hard. Sometimes if I see a duplicate event that me or Beth or Laura should have entered, I might try to delete it, but if there's people attached to it, right, that gets tricky. And so, sometimes I email people and say, can you back your people out of this so I can delete it? But, sometimes that gets really hard to do.
Well, in a perfect world, Teams would not allow anybody to add anything under the TCAL name other than TCAL people, but it doesn't work that way. So it does set it up for, error for other folks to enter events under TCAL. So that's where the confusion comes in, so.
Right. Okay,
Does
hope
anybody
that's
have
clear
any-
as mud.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions about that?
I don't see any clear as, oh, that's Laura, clear as mud.
And if you do have questions, truly ask your PD specialist, ask the PD Portal Help Desk, email me. We're happy to help, really. That's what we're here for. And we would rather y'all ask than put something in, that we might need to take out later. So thanks.
And I'm looking through and I don't see any other questions, Tracy, but.
And can I say one more thing about this form, this Conference Sessions for Teams form? Okay, this form is a spreadsheet. I just want to say one more thing. We really, really, really need your help filling that out, not just to make up a title that you think that session was called, but to try your best to get the actual title and the actual date that the session occurred. I usually have to go into, say, World Ed and check out the title because I want to get the correct one so others can attach staff to it. But sometimes it's really like a scavenger hunt. And so the easier you can make that for Beth and I, and sometimes Laura helps us with this, and Yoli, that we appreciate that, because it really can be hard sometimes if you put something in that you kind of think it was called, X and it was really Z. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. And we didn't have any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward with Beth, sitting in for Krista.
Good afternoon, and thanks again. Thanks again, Deb. So we did mention earlier the Fall Institute, and that we were going to be able to have an afternoon specifically for you as PD coordinators, and we're really looking forward to that opportunity. And we really do want to meet your needs and make that a meaningful afternoon for you. So we've had a brainstorming planning session, and as we're moving forward with that planning, we'd really like your input on what it is that you as PD coordinators need and what kind of support do you want. So we actually are working on a little short survey. It's not going to be real long, but we will send that out probably early next week to get some input from you. Certainly, if you have topics that you feel like you want us to cover, you can put them in the chat now, or you can email Krista at kdmosher@tamu.edu. But we really do want to be responsive to what your needs are.
And I understand Krista's here.
Oh, yay.
I don't know who wants to do the final slide. Krista?
Krista,
Hi, sorry about that. Internet's actually with me for the moment. Yes, is there any questions or any anything that anybody would like to ask?
Anything you need to know to help you in your positions,
Yeah.
ask them now.
And I will be sending that survey out to the PD coordinators and very soon, probably by the end of today or first thing in the morning. So please look at that and answer it, please.
Anything in there, Anne-Marie?
I am looking. I have a quick question. And this is probably just a no-brainer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Everyone knows where the PD coordinator community of practice is, right? In the PD portal, how to get there and all that. That's something maybe we can show them really quick. But everybody comfortable navigating to where that is? Okay, Ashley says, can you show, please? I don't know. We have some time. I think we could do that.
We've got
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, hold on. Let me stop sharing and go into So is everybody seeing the portal?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Somebody reply. Thank you. Okay, when you're in the portal, these are the Connect communities. These are those communities of practice. We've got quite a few of them, and they're alphabetical. And if you don't see it, just go over here to the bottom right, and it may be one that you just need to move forward a little bit alphabetically. I'm gonna just take a guess. Oh, I went too far. I'm gonna go maybe down to the third one. And yep, here we go. So here's the PD coordinator community of practice. You just click on it. You can scroll down. It's sort of like Facebook, and it shows you the updated stuff. But if you want to know by topic, you just click on the topics button and it'll identify all the different folders that we have by topic. So you'll see new staff onboarding process ideas, how to find a trainer. Here's where we put PD coordinator meetings and staff qualifications. All this kind of stuff is in here. I don't know, let me open the chat again and see if there's a question.
Deb, are they automatically added to that community of practice, or do they have to follow it down below? Like if they haven't joined it yet, is it down at the bottom, or are they automatically added? They have to follow it. So it doesn't become their community until they start following it, right?
Well, it differs. So what I need to do is go look at that one. I don't know if, well, Krista may not know that, but let me see what I can look. Yeah, that's okay. Hold on. Because when we set these up, some of them you know, we've put you in a group called PD coordinators. So let me just see how you're put in. You're put in individually. So we'll need to add you. We don't have, oh no, we do have it a group. PD coordinators and PD specialists. Yeah, all of you should be in if we've added you to our group, PD coordinators. So if you are not a member, if you cannot see this, then you need to send an email to Laura Greer so she can add you in the portal. Add you to this group in the portal. I've lost my chat. Let me see if I can find it somewhere over here. Does everybody understand?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat pod, and I don't think we see any questions, but hopefully this was helpful. And then just a clarification to email the PD portal at tamu.edu. So for instance, if you're a new PD coordinator, email PD portal at tamu.edu.
Yeah, that's true. I said Laura, but the PD portal, more people have access to that email. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. Okay, well, if there aren't any other questions, we're going to go ahead and close it down for today. Thank you all very much for joining us. I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and let us know how we can help you do your job easier. That's what we're here for. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Great job, everyone.
Yep, good job, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Deb, for doing the detour there.
Thanks, Anne Marie, for helping out and doing the chat pod and stuff.
Oh, you're welcome. I felt like I was a little, yeah, it was like, oh, that's my job. I was like so busy listening. I'm like, oh, I have to watch the chat pod. So.
Well, then it was the old find the little pointer, and I couldn't turn it off, and then my computer kept sticking, and it was crazy. Anyway.
And then it's okay. We got the gremlins, right? Yep. And Beth is with us, and Krista could join us, so it's all good. It's all good.
Well, I'm gonna stop sharing, and we can close it down.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.